Welcome to Movie Night, the show where we discuss all things comic book movies. So today we are talking about Superman Unbound, the animated movie that is basically the plot to Man of Steel 2. It's astounding how similar this is. So let's bring in the boys. Let's bring in the person who picked this awesome movie.
All the hopes and dreams of Krypton live in you now.
What's up, Tel?
What's up?
And let's bring it's getting really warm in here for some reason. I don't understand. Maybe it's this. What's up, JJheat?
What's up? How's everyone doing?
And Barry, you know what's interesting? The CGI in that scene at least holds up in the Fantastic Four. Actually, pretty decently.
Ages well, too.
Yeah. So, all right. We're talking about Superman Unbound, which is, by the way, based off of the Superman Braniac arc, which is collected in this trade, written by Jeff Johns and with art by Gary Frank. It's basically the post-crisis Braniac introduction. And what's interesting about it, this is eerily similar to the rumored, plot to Man of Steel 2. Have you guys noticed that?
Well, it's the de facto Braniac movie, so...
Yeah, that's true. It's really interesting. It's particularly when you have Supergirl being involved in this movie, which that's awesome. You have Supergirl, which by the way, Supergirl was amazing in this movie. Because there's a certain degree because I liked how they made it so she was less. They really played off that Clark is more experienced than her. Instead of making it so she's the better super person, because modern creatives would make it so Clark is the more useless character.
I think this movie came out in 08, 09.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that was a completely different time.
Yes, it was a more simple time.
Indeed.
So Teladia, what made you pick this movie?
Because of Man of Steel 2 that we almost got.
Yeah, it's pretty much that. It is literally that. So now Teladia, do you want to basically, since it's your pick, basically outline the basic plot of this film?
Basically, this is where Superman and Supergirl try to stop Brainiac from invading Earth. Basically, because in the film, you kind of get a backstory of Kara.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I was just like, yes, and they give me more. It revolves around also Superman going back to Krypton. Well, kind of Krypton, no, Argo City, wasn't it? Yes, Argo
Yeah, it was
City.
Argo. It was Argo.
Yeah. So, and furthermore, it's this was voiced by the great Matt Bomber.
Oh, yeah. He was good as Superman.
Very underrated creator, not going to lie. Very underrated.
Very underrated. Now, okay. So, what do you guys think? So, in terms of Brainiac specifically, what did you guys think of the character design for Brainiac?
Definitely gave you the feel like this was originally scripted for the DCAU with Superman the Animated Series. Because the best way I could describe this is what Crisis on Two Earths. Originally, it was going to be DCAU adjacent, but they decided to wrap it up and end it after JLU, so they restructured it to a standalone. But the parallel is still there.
I think in the case of Crisis on Two Earths, it was going to be the transition movie from JL to JLU. Because you notice it ends with Batman saying we need a recruitment drive.
That is true.
But yeah, the basic plot of that story actually outlines really well. Where it is it was originally supposed to be a DCAU adjacent, taking place in the DCAU, but they changed the plot, and it kind of does feel like that. I mean, the difference is this Brainiac looks vastly different than the one we got in the DCAU. In fact, I'll check that out real quick. I'll pull up that character design. Brainiac, Superman Unbound. He looks more heavily armored, and it's actually the comic book design of Braniac, I believe. I'm trying to pull it up in the comic. It's kind of this. It was designed by Gary Frank. So I'm just pulling up the character design for Braniac. Yeah, Braniac is like ridiculously jacked and like overpowered in this. And yeah,
yes.
Yeah, right there.
It's kind of unnatural. It's a little unnatural.
Yeah, the dark side of the force is the pathway to many abilities some consider to be unnatural. I had to, JJheat. I had to. But so moving on, one of the things I dug is how this movie deals with like being the last survivor of Krypton, even though they're not the last survivor. It's amazing how many survivors of Krypton's explosion there are. Isn't that kind of humorous?
Yeah.
There's like a ridiculous.
Which is why I believe that you're better off sticking to Man of Steel, because the Last Son of Krypton thing, that brand never stuck. Because you have Supergirl, Krypto, the Super Family in general, Argo, Kandor. It just doesn't work. The only time it worked ever was in New Earth or after Crisis on Infinite Earths, where anything involving Superman and the Kryptonian mythos was wiped out, and it was just Clark.
Mm-hmm.
And even then, that was like undone within the span of 5 years, because Matrix, that character did not work. But back to Braniac.
Yeah, exactly. But one of the things that I dug about this, Teladia, is that they also did is that I think it was the beginning of the movie, they show the cyborgification of Braniac, and it's so like gritty.
Yes.
A little uncomfortable too, but and you also got like the idea about he's from Kolu and all that. So you get like the origin of this character in a way that's like easy to understand, but you don't have to like read any of the books to understand who Braniac is. Because I feel like a lot of these animated movies, for better or for worse, oftentimes they just throw you in this scenario and expect you to just catch up.
True.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this was during the era of DC animated original movies.
Mm-hmm.
So you either knew the storyline itself or you knew the characters enough to where you could pick up on certain plot details.
Now, let me tell you this. My favorite part of this movie, you ready, is how much of a badass Superman is. Because here's the thing. Superman gets this reputation of being a big blue Boy Scout, of being like, oh, he's so timid, which to a certain degree he is. But when he gets to be a badass,
when
like,
he goes off,
there's that scene where he shows up in Metropolis and he's like going through like Brainiac drones and you hear the boom, 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 boom. I'm like, and it gets into slow motion like splash pages. I'm like, that is my favorite part of the movie, because it really essentially here's what it is. Here's what it is. I have a perfect clip for this. It's essentially this. Because I love it when they treat Superman like he's a badass. When he like JJheat tease, and when Superman lets go, woe be the soul that is going to encounter a pissed off Superman.
And when he was on the alien planet, when he did,
yeah, it's kind of like in the new 52 Superman Wonder Woman book when Apollo blasted with sunlight, and he goes, "You really don't know that much about me, do you?"
No.
And I was like, yeah, but again, yeah, and once again, it's again, he's a badass in this movie. It's like he's like tearing drones apart, because once again, they're robots. It doesn't count as killing. So you know, with these characters, when they're fighting zombies or robots, they're like, okay, let's go, let's do this, because again, they're not killing sentient beings. They're still killing, but not sentient beings. So there is that. They have a lot of loopholes to that no killing rule, which, by the way, doesn't exist. Just want to bring that in there anymore.
Yeah.
But
yes.
Yeah. So and I liked that. One of my favorite parts of the movie is when Clark is shrunken into the bottled city of Kandor, and he meets Kara's parents. And he's explained to her how much of a great person their daughter is. That was such a heartfelt moment. And then when Kara realizes that her parents are in there and they're alive, because remember, she remembers when the bottle city was bottled. That is the real that's why. That's the thing about Kara's origin that is so heartbreaking. And I hope in the Supergirl movie, the Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, they adapt this. because the thing about her origin, she saw not only Braniac invading, she watched Krypton explode. Can you imagine the trauma that puts someone through watching your home explode and everything you know blow up?
The trauma would be really a lot.
Yeah, that's why I love Kara as a character. She is like one of the, I would say, one of the most tragic, but ultimately, again, hopeful characters of DC, because she has the House of El symbol too, because she's supposed to represent hope. And one of my favorite scenes is when in the very beginning, when those criminals take Lois Lane in the helicopter, and she goes, "Don't worry, we timed this bank robbery by the time what Superman's dealing with like a hurricane." And then she goes, "Yeah, but what about the other Kryptonian?" And then the bank robber's like, "Wait, other Kryptonian?" And then Supergirl is just standing there in front of the helicopter like this, and then she tilts the helicopter, and then the dude falls out. Like that would actually happen in real life, but that's besides the point. I'm not. This is an animated movie. I'm not dealing with actual like logic on this, but it's just so cool. And again, Kara's a badass too in this movie.
Kara's really, what's the word? Kara's really bad, like a badass.
Yeah. And what do you think, JJheat? He's probably muted, but in terms of like, because here's the thing, a lot of times when you have these multiple characters, it really gets difficult to give everyone their moment. That's why the Snyder Cut is so great, because Zack gave every superhero in the show a moment to really shine. And this movie did the same thing. They managed to give Superman and Supergirl their own moments in the sun. Pun intended. Thank you. But so let me ask you guys this. What was your favorite part of the movie? I can start with JJheat, or whoever is here may answer. All right, well, my favorite part of the movie would probably be, let's see. My favorite part of the movie is when Superman is flying through the Braniac drones and you hear boom, 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 and then it, like full screen splash page of Superman like blasting heat vision out of his eyes. That's probably my favorite. What about you guys? Hello? What about you guys?
What were you saying?
What's your favorite part of this movie?
My favorite
I think JJheat's sleep.
Boy. My favorite part of the film has to be Superman and Brainiac clashing midair.
Yes, where he throws him into the swamp and is like, "This is what I deal with now. So if you want all this knowledge, here you go."
Like that fight scene. I think he does like mid-air kick as well.
Yeah, he like completely just he not impresses Brainiac. Let me put it that way.
Yeah. So when he does that mid-air kick, I was just like, yes, I wanted a game about this. We almost had it.
How much you want to? They could still do it in the Superman game.
No, but they literally were going to use the animation, and everything was going to be taken.
That would be so good.
They were going to use everything for that movie, put it into a video game.
Mm-hmm. You know, I'm surprised when they make superhero games. I'm surprised they don't do more of the cel-shaded comic book art style, because it's cheaper,
right.
But it looks good, and you're adapting comic book characters. Why not do that?
That'd be cool. Something like like how Deadpool had that comic book style.
Kind of like that, or like Ultimate Spider-Man, the game, Crackdown. There's plenty of games that have adopted that art style.
By the way, Ultimate Spider-Man, the video game, is probably one of the higher ups there in terms of comic book accuracy video game.
Because guess what? It's written by the writer of Ultimate Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Who would later go on to ruin Superman, but that's besides the point.
We don't bring up that name.
Yeah, you know what? Because I said it and the clip's on hand.
Why did you say that name?
Thank you, Batman. Now let's talk about this. So this was pretty much, when you look at the original plot for Man of Steel 2, even going back to Zack Snyder's original plan, not even counting like everyone else's, this was the plot for Man of Steel 2. And what you're saying, according to James Gunn, Braniac is the villain. So do you think we're going to get a live action version of this in Superman Legacy?
I think partly, not fully, just partly of it.
Because here's the thing. They could it would work with Legacy, particularly if he brings in that Braniac was the one that had destroyed Krypton, because in some iterations of Krypton, it was Braniac collecting Kandor is what destabilized the core.
But we gotta also remember, in Superman Brainiac, there was no Supergirl in the comic book, right?
No, she's in there.
She is? Okay. But they can't use that portion of it.
See, here she is, right here.
She is? Okay.
Yep, that's it.
So what makes me think then is probably they'll take portions of it out if they're gonna use that storyline and just make it into a movie. I mean,
But
they're using Woman of Tomorrow, straight adaptation from that book into a movie. So, I mean,
but here's the thing, though. Here's the point. Here's the thing. They did bring up that a lot of other DC heroes are going to show up in Superman Legacy to establish the universe. Why can't they just throw in Supergirl?
I mean, because that'll be overshadowing Superman.
True. Which is why I'm like, he really should, in name only, reference the characters. Like Clark can go, oh yeah, Kara's in space doing something, and then just be done with that.
Yeah.
Because don't have them actually show up, because then, yeah, you are 100% correct. They will overshadow Superman in his own movie.
Yeah. So, but I just think overall this movie, this animation, great style, definitely hits the nail on the head. I remember back in the day, because this came out around about the time when Injustice Gods Among Us first came out.
Around the time,
and they had a bonus trailer, so the promotional stuff was in the game too. I remember that, and I was just like, yes.
Yeah, because I love Injustice. We all love Injustice as an Elseworld story. We talked about that in Under Two Caves, by the way.
Yeah, and it's like, I'm just like, please, Warner Brothers, give us a live action or a video game of this storyline, because this storyline is enriched with a lot of Superman lore. Mind you, this is a continuation of Superman's Secret Origin. Take that into account.
Of the comic, yeah, it is.
So, if they do Superman Secret Origins type of thing for Superman's background, you got a winner there.
And you know what's kind of interesting? You brought this up when we covered Superman Batman Apocalypse, where you could take this as a sequel to that, because Supergirl's introduced in that movie, and then she's like here, which is interesting. And I'm like, oh, okay, I can kind of see that. It's kind of funny. Until you brought that up last time, I never connected the two.
I did. I remember that.
So I'm like, okay, nothing really contradicts when you think about it here to this, because it doesn't reference anything else. You could take that. So there you go.
Yeah.
Now, in terms of where I want to take this discussion next is okay. So again, we were going to have Braniac. That was the main thing for Man of Steel 2. And when you look at it was going to be essentially, it was going to be. Let's check this. JJheat, you awake? All right. So it was going to be, it was essentially going to be, what was it? Oh yeah. Kara was going to show up, and this is literally the plot to this. Which is interesting. I mean, I wish we got that. I'm just hoping that like this will be like that they'll do it justice with the little bit they do put in terms of legacy. I don't know. We'll see what happens with that.
Only time will tell for Superman Legacy. But as far as this movie goes, it's a perfect one-to-one adaptation.
Yes, literally. Let's talk about that, because this is another one of those. It's another one with like Superman Batman Apocalypse, where it's literally 1-to-1 the comic book, and it's done super well. What's up, Cold Knight? How how I'm getting into a Superman run, first classic or John Byrne run. How do you want to get into? Honestly, I would go with the John Byrne if you want to pick those, because that's like the most like modern that they've done with the Superman origin. And it's the most like realistic and down to earth, particularly if you're a fan of the Man of Steel movie. I would go with that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. But and again, let me know if you have any further questions, because that's the purpose of this channel. But going back to this, it's like, yeah, it's literally 1-to-1. Like even some shots and some moments of the movie are basically recreations from the comic book. His abduction, his seeing Kandor, his escaping from Braniac's cell, his being attacked by that monkey creature is literally here.
It's literally 1-to-1.
Yeah, it's just astounding how, and this is why I have no tolerance for adaptations that don't stick to the source material. Yeah, anytime. This is why I have no tolerance for movies that don't adapt the source material properly, because you have so many examples of when it's done well. I mean, they do change slight things, really slight things, because a lot of the stuff in the comic is not going to translate well to the movie, but they keep the basic plot, the soul, and the story beats of the comic when they adapt it. And I'm like, I'm sorry, you could do this as a live action movie and make it be done well.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine introducing Braniac live action with like the things going in Henry Cavill's head, the little tentacles, if you want to make it R-rated?
I can see it. I'm just imagining it right now.
Yeah, wouldn't that be intense in the movie theater?
By the way, I'm just picturing it. I'm just like thinking all the blood dripping down.
Exactly. And this movie actually did a good job of having blood and gore in this. And I was like, oh, okay, this is interesting. But yeah, can't you just imagine how awesome that would be? Plus, Clark teaming up with Kara against Braniac, because there's a certain point where they're in the ship and they're fighting side by side. Wouldn't that be awesome?
Yeah.
Again, the potential is there and you're wasting it. This is my problem with DC. DC is the wasted potential company.
I can't believe you said that.
No, I'm sorry. It's true. They have all the potential for all these fantastic storylines and they abandon them.
Yes.
It's that. And plus, Man of Steel 2 with this could have been Henry Cavill's like redemption in the general audience like zeitgeist. Because remember, this could have shown, this could have brought, because everyone, the reason why the general audience was upset with the Cavill recast, because he never got a chance to be the classic Superman, even though that's what Zack was going to. But everyone else pretty much agrees that he should have gotten one more Superman movie to kind of complete his arc and give him like one chance to be like the classic hopeful Superman. He arguably was that the entire time, but the more generally accepted hopeful Superman. But regardless, this movie is freaking dope, and please go watch this movie because it is incredible. The art style is very timely, and there are some characters where I think it didn't translate well, but like there's a reason why I have Kara on the thumbnail, because I think it did her well, it did Clark well, it did Lois well. The characters that had to do well, it nailed. Like Braniac again, because Braniac is this big hulking monster in this movie.
Yeah.
But what character does that? What character did actually, the Teladia assistant you picked it? What do you think of the art style for this movie?
Great art style.
Yeah. Again, it works superbly. But so on that note, now let me ask you this: do you think that this movie would translate well for a Superman video game?
Yes, 110%. It would work well.
You know what they could do? They could make it co-op. One player plays a Superman, one player plays a Supergirl. And then what they could do, they could do split screen, or they could just do a regular multiplayer. And it's basically the invasion of Braniac, but one player is playing a Superman, one player is playing a Supergirl, and they can have drop in, drop out co-op and stuff. It'd be super fun. It would be like, yeah, sure. It would be essentially, no pun intended, super awesome. And yeah, it would translate well, because there's plenty of stuff in this stuff that would translate well to a video game, like the action of fighting all the different Braniac drones. They could have like more upgraded tank forms. They could have like little infantry style drones, And what they could do is, and again, if they adapt into a game, I do make this one small request. Try to keep it as close to this art style. Because here's the thing. Again, like I was talking to Teladia, here's the thing. A lot of superhero games go for the more hyper-realistic version of these characters, which is fine. There is a place for that. But I'm just saying there should be also more games that opt for the more cel-shaded, cartoony comic book version, because you're adapting comic book characters ultimately. And ultimately, here's the thing. It's cheaper. You can get away with more. You could do more with less money if you do it that way. And this is the perfect example of that. Or like Deadpool or Crackdown, because you don't have to worry about like all the hardware going toward like hyper realistic lifelike visuals. If you just go to a more cel shaded cartoony style version of these characters. And that's where I think comic book games should go in the foreseeable future, because you don't have to worry about like the graphics looking realistic or looking weird. Just do them in a cartoony comic book style. That's all you need to do. In terms of what I think that of the potential I see in this movie, but Teladia, again, I was talking about how like if this were a game, again, split screen co-op or like general co-op, one player plays a Superman, one player plays a Supergirl, and then you're fighting Braniac. They could have upgraded version of Braniac drones for different character types, and then obviously the story would translate, I think, really well to a game.
I have two things to say.
Go ahead.
Single player experience, but co-op features.
Yeah, exactly.
So, you do co-op multiplayer if you wanted to do some of the missions. Let's say Braniac, in the Braniac ship experience, you could do co-op if you wanted to. Or if you're in Metropolis, you doing stopping one Braniac drone, and Supergirl, your friend could be Supergirl and could do the other side.
Yeah, and I said it'd be a little like drop in, drop out co-op. It's like if you're there, if you're two people are there, Supergirl's there. If not, she's just gone. Would you have it be open world or just more of a linear style game?
I would say, that's a good question.
Because you could do both. Because you could have all the Metropolis parts be open world, and then all the parts of like Braniac ship be like more of the classic level design like idea.
But the fact remains that I think this game was going to be an open world game. I think it was, or a semi-open world game at least.
They've done open world Superman games like with the Superman Returns game.
I think this was going to be a semi-open world game when this game was originally going to be developed by Warner Bros. Games Montreal back in the day. I think this was going to be semi-open world, 1-to-1, same as the animation. Because if you think about it, that was an open world fully. If you think about it in the Superman Unbound movie, so because you got little sectors and whatnot, and you got trapped in Kandor, so to say, right? So
yeah,
just thinking about it logically, I think it would be better for a semi-open world game than an open world game.
Yeah, and another thing in terms of the visuals, I think that they should. Again, I talked about this earlier in the stream with you, but I want to really reiterate that. I think more games, particularly this one, should adopt more of a cel-shaded cartoony style. Because here's the thing. It's cheaper and you can get away with more. In other words, you can get more bang for your buck if you go cheaper. Instead of doing like these hyper-realistic Henry Cavill-looking characters, just go more into making them resemble like the Gary Frank version. Or even the art, you can recreate the art style from this movie in a game form.
I think the Gary Frank style would work.
It would work too. But I'm just saying it because you and I both also like the art style in this movie. I think that this could translate really well to a game. Because again, Teladia, you wouldn't run into those issues of people going, the faces look weird, it's not realistic, it doesn't actually, it doesn't look good. Where if it's like cartoony, and it's like, yeah, that's the point. They're recreating the comics. And all the cutscenes, you can have the cutscenes of the game be actual panels from the comic book. In other words, they do like they do in DC Universe Online, where it's like motion comics.
Speaking about DC Universe Online,
Yeah.
Comics League and I might be doing a DC Universe Online
Woo.
Let's Play. We
I
might
just have to
actually
get a gaming PC. But besides that, the point is we're planning on that.
That's something we're planning on, just to keep the momentum going, guys.
It's
for
gonna
the
be
end of
super
the year.
fun. We're gonna form our own league and our own clan, and we're all clan up. That'll be fun. We can all play together. We'll do
Dibs on
community play
Superman.
dates.
Dibs on Superman. I'm calling it now.
What do you mean? We're using our own custom characters.
No, I mean, I made up Superman.
Oh, okay, that's fine. My character has like the cape and like the S symbol, but it's more because in my character's backstory, he's inspired by Superman.
Yeah. I can't
Master
imagine-
Sergeant, what's up, dude? He says, I can't imagine they would even make a Superman game. You fight thugs all the time with the Batman games. What people do with Superman, save cats. That's why I'm
No.
saying for
No.
the Superman game, and they wouldn't do that. Adapt a threat that would necessitate Superman, like a Braniac invasion. That's why I say do like Superman Braniac or like the Zod invasion as a game, because then you have a threat that realistically could stand up to Superman.
Furthermore, there's loads of villains you could do. Intergang,
Parasite.
Parasite, yeah, Livewire, Metallo, Doomsday, Brimstone. Solomon Grundy.
Born on a Monday. I had to, but even with Parasite, that would force you to be more like strategic about your powers. Hey, what's up, Tevia? That would force you to be more realistic about how you do how you handle like your engagements, because you can't punch Parasite.
No, you can't.
And they can make it so when you punch him, you lose health. So you have to like use use your environment or so, use your other powers to do so.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, there's like so many different ways they can make a really compelling Superman game. They haven't.
But this plot point right here of Superman Unbound / Superman Braniac, is the perfect plot point to use.
Oh yeah, because if there's one threat that necessitates Superman and arguably the Justice League, but in this case just Superman, is a Brainiac invasion.
This would perfectly work in a video game. Now I know Brainiac has been used so many different times in video games. Injustice 2,
DC Online,
DC Universe Online, and also now Suicide Squad Killer Justice League. But I just think if you're gonna do a DC, I technically seen this movie,
and it is underrated, Tevia. It's one of my favorite. I still maintain it's my favorite Superman animated movie. I don't count Apocalypse because that's a world finest / Trinity movie.
Yes.
He's technically he's also technically also used in the Lego DC Superheroes game. Yeah, 3 is Brainiac. But I think that I think it would be, because here's the thing. Yes, he's been overused, but what other villain and you can't do Doomsday because everyone would say, okay, are we going to die at the end of the game? What other characters could you really do that would really be a compelling Superman game besides Brainiac?
Obviously you got Lex Luthor, Bizarro.
Because here's the thing: if they did a Brainiac, here's what they could do. Like when you get onto Brainiac's ship, what they could do? Well, there's Metallo. Yeah, that's true.
But that's the cop out. That's the thing.
That's the cop out. What they could do, Teladia, is that to fight Kal-El and Kara, Brainiac like takes certain warriors from his collection and controls them with Brainiac technology, and then you have to fight them. Mixoplick will not work well for a game.
I know a good one.
What?
I would have to say a original character that's never been used in the video game before.
Okay, there you go.
Right? Like in the New 52, you had the original Kryptonian, never before seen in a comic. Right? You remember?
Yeah. You mean what was that guy's name?
You're the New 52 guy. You should.
Yeah, I know who you were talking about. I'm just trying to remember his name because they did that plot multiple times. But they could do Vandal Savage for darn sake, because they even did that where you took Kal-El's powers and made him a motorcycle guy, which sucked. But still,
I also think another really good example would be doing.
Oh wait, What if they adapt Superman Doomed as a game? The entire Doom, like you can turn into Super Doomed, and then it turns into a Braniac invasion story. Wouldn't that be epic?
That'd be too.
The first
The first thing that people will say to that,
is
OP. That's what they'll say. They'll just say it's OP, and I would have to agree with that
what?
because
No. Because what happens in Superman Doomed? He has to fight the Justice League. So there you go. You're fighting Wonder Woman too as Super Doomed. This is the same problem that they have in the movies from 1978. It went Lex, Zod, Computer, Nuclear Man, back to Lex, back to Zod, and it turns out Lex is back for Guns Superman. Yeah, and here's the thing. In 1978, here's another problem with Superman, the original movie. They introduced the Zod thing of them being banished to the Phantom Zone, then never do anything with it in the movie. At least in Man of Steel, Zod is the main villain of the movie. Here's the thing. You don't introduce plot points that you go, well, we'll address that in the sequel. No, you don't do that. That is a horrible way to write a movie.
Mm-hmm.
But besides that, yeah, they could. And here's the thing. You're fighting the Justice League as Super Doomed. And then when Brainiac invades, they'll like go crazy. I really don't want Superman doing into that thing because no, it's awesome. And no, it doesn't only connect to Convergence. It does not. It doesn't connect to Convergence at all. I have the trade in my shelf. It doesn't do that. Superman Doomed is the story of him getting the Doomsday virus and then fighting Braniac. How does that connect it to Convergence? And Tevia, they had to do that. They had to do that storyline, even though it's self-isolated, because guess what? Whenever you have a version of Superman, you have to do the death of Superman at some point. You just have to.
Yeah. But I just think when it comes down to a video game terms, you need to find the right villain. And I think the right villain, I mean, Darkseid's a really good example to do a villain.
But he's been overused so many times, and he's more of a Justice League villain at this point.
He kind of is, but if it was a DCAU video game.
Well, we did see Brainiac in a black hole. Just because Brainiac is used does not mean it connects to Convergence. That was a specific version of Brainiac, too. Let's not forget about that.
Then, you're not listening to what I'm saying.
No, I know.
The DCAU, if they did a DCAU video game, take inspirations from that.
They could do Darkseid in that case.
Yeah, they could do Darkseid because remember, Darkseid was Superman's first big villain in that.
That's where he debuted in the DCAU, I believe, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. With that also. And yeah, Tevia, reread Superman Doomed. That was just the actual this Earth's Brainiac being sent into a black hole. That's it.
I just saw something cool as well. What they could do for a Superman video game.
What's up?
Skins, but there's powers are limited. They're like certain skins get certain powers.
Like Superman Blue.
Yep.
That would be cool.
New 52, you have solar flare. You can use solar flare at any point. But
yes. Yeah, what they could do is it seems like in the comics, solar flare like wipes out his powers. Instead of doing that, they make it so like your health is drastically reduced for like a certain time period.
Or his powers is reduced to something on the same levels as Superman the animated series.
Okay, or he can fly, so it's more like he's like leaping tall buildings and such. And of course, imagine Superman Doom is taking place in the. It references that Earth. Of course, it's going to show up there, but I'm saying it doesn't connect. It doesn't directly lead to or connect to Convergence. Is what I'm saying. But anyway, beyond that, yes, that's a fantastic idea. They could even do like the black suit, like your health regeneration is like increased because that suit is designed to be a recovery suit.
Also, they could do is a Kingdom Come. He's invulnerable to kryptonite, but he's vulnerable to certain other objects. Like, think about it.
And by Tevia, that was not the multiverse. He just went to a black hole in actual space. He did not go into a black hole through the multiverse.
And Tevia, no, we're not adding Rebirth suit
No,
into it.
because that gave him no specialties. No. And what we're talking about, specific powers that give him like special bonuses. Like they can even do, remember the badass Superman Unchained armor from the new
Yeah.
52? And that gives him like the ability to take extra punishment, and he can like throw the hammer and stuff.
Yeah, I remember that comic. I love that comic.
That's such a good comic. It gets crapped on too many times because you got Jim Lee and Scott Snyder writing it. It's fantastic. I love that one.
That's why I really wish Scott Snyder and Jim Lee did the next game.
Yes. They could adapt Superman Unchained as a game. That would be good. That would be really cool.
You know what? I had a thought.
What?
What if WP Montreal's second game is a Superman Unchained inspired game?
Yes.
Just like Gotham Knights was inspired by Scott Snyder's Batman Court of Owls story.
Pretty much. It was like Court of Owls and like Batman Endgame, where Batman air quote dies. So yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
They could do that. They could even do, in terms of like other Superman, they could adapt. They could have like, remember the Godfall Superman suit that's like black and red? They can kind of do that. Actually, Rebirth Superman could have Superman split. But why would that? That doesn't make any sense from a gameplay perspective. So Superman splits into two different Superman. That doesn't work.
Remember, Tevia, this is a skin, not.
It's a skin that has bonus powers. Is what we're saying.
Like this image. Hold on. Let me get the thing. 1 second.
They could also do. I'm looking at other versions of Superman that they could use in a suit. They could do in a skin. They could do. They still should have like Super Doomed as a skin, and like he's like basically Hulk. Yeah, like that.
You see, like that, where it shows the powers,
Mm-hmm.
or even or even 1 second.
Yeah, Tavia, we're not talking about the plot is New 52. We're talking about there
like
be a skin that gives him powers. Yes.
Like this, you see that where it says vulnerable to kryptonite, vulnerable to magic. And it's the
Man of Steel
suit.
Actually, that's more the BVS suit, actually.
Yeah, BVS suit. But you get the idea, though, right? You get the gist of it.
That's the idea. Yeah. Wow. I screw up because Superman Rebirth has Superman inspire a lot more people from the multiverse gets empowered by him. Okay.
But you guys know what I mean. It's like them doing skin selections, but with powers that has vulnerability and
don't make me buy the skins with actual money. Have me unlock it as the game goes by.
Unlock it like Spider-Man, Marvel Spider-Man.
Some of them you can. Let me put it this way. Some of them you can. Like if they want to do one for like tie into specific movies that are coming out, I'm fine with those. But like give me like a good portion of them. And by the way, have a new game plus, so when I go back, I can use all my skins.
Something like Marvel Spider-Man, because Marvel Spider-Man's the template of that.
It's Master Sergeant. I feel like everybody's vulnerable to magic. It's like saying Superman's weak against suffocation. Yeah, that's true, but it's not.
But for Superman, you could also have vulnerable to different forms of kryptonite, so it doesn't have to be just green kryptonite.
Yeah, it could be like gold kryptonite. If you're hit by that, you temporarily lose your powers.
Yeah.
It's from the Multiplicity Superman. I don't know what that is.
Red kryptonite is basically you make him a little bit angrier. So
he does like enhanced damage, in other words.
Yeah, basically, yeah. So we're coming with some really banger ideas.
WB, please hire us.
Please hire us, because we just come up with some great ideas for a Superman video game.
I got one. I got a good one. Yellow Lantern Superman from Injustice. And the ability, he can use hard light constructs too. Dude, how badass would that be?
Oh, I got a good one.
What?
Superman, a Blue Lantern.
Yeah, the entire Crayola box is representing kryptonite. Nice. But yeah, Blue Lantern, that would work. And it gives him like, his allies do enhanced damage because he inspires them with hope.
Yes. So, but
watch. There should also be an option for fun on a lot of the skins. You click a slider to turn the trunks on and off.
No. No,
I'm only kidding. But
no, but you
mhm.
like if you do New 52 Solar Flare, that works perfectly for a New 52 skin.
Parallax Superman from DC Rebirth. That's what we're talking about. In Injustice, they gave him the Yellow Lantern ring. That's what we're talking about.
But if I was Warner Brothers right now, I would do a Superman game, get that in development right now as we speak. Because if you keep on holding back and don't do a Superman game, you are gonna lose majority of your fan base because you aren't putting out the big guns.
Particularly when you have a new Superman movie coming out soon. They should be
Literally
fast tracking a Superman game.
in 2 years, you've got 2 years to get a Superman game out.
That's why I say do it cell shaded too, because that requires less time. Make it as fast as possible, still with quality. I'm not saying like half-ass it, but I'm saying make it as fast as possible and with the most amount of and still complete. And then there you go, put it out. Try and put out at like the same time as the movie's out to promote it. Like even come out with a specific skin that you get. What they could do is they can make it like at participating theaters. When you buy your ticket, it gives you a code to unlock the legacy suit for the game.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I know Parallax. I think it's about to be the Black Lantern's Darkest Night. Parallax is the lantern entity for the Yellow Lantern Corps. But yeah, and then Black Lanterns is Blackest Night. That is correct. And that's good, Matt Starch. I'm glad you're enjoying Jeff Johns' Green Lantern. For those who don't know, I turned him on to that when I showed off my Omnibuy.
But like,
ooh, wait,
like,
Black Lantern Superman.
That was actually an Injustice 1.
Black Lantern, I know, Superman. But imagine that skin, and he's like practically invulnerable because he's a zombie.
Actually, another thing too, he was also in Multiverses. Black Lantern Superman.
Oh yeah, I got another one. Vampire Superman from DC Vampires.
I got a good one. A really good one, actually.
And yes,
that would be Speeding Bullet Superman. So you're basically Batman in Batman's costume. Yeah,
that would be cool.
Batman's costume.
I'm referring to the Parallax entity possessing Superman, which did happen. Oh, I didn't know that happened. That's actually very terrifying, and I appreciate that. Thank you, Tabby. I'll need to check that out. Yeah, the yellow entity that at the OM midgets hid. Nice, I love that. But I love that terminology.
I like that comment. Yes.
Yeah, that's a fantastic comment. But and yes, that is true. They hid it in the power battery, and that's why the lanterns were weak to the color yellow. That's why.
But I just think, the way things are going, like Superman Unbound is the template for a Superman game, right?
It has everything. It has the threat. It has the mechanics are literally there.
But now the question is WB going to pull the trigger and basically say we're going to do this for James Gunn's universe and put it in a video game format?
Probably
because
not.
just remember, James Gunn still's got to show the other half of his slate, because he only showed at least half of it for his Gods and Monsters. So, like I said, I don't know. I just think WBD gotta start thinking about the bigger picture here. Superman game, Braniac, Supergirl in it. Supergirl can be I just had a thought. What if it takes place after Superman Legacy, and you get introduction of Supergirl?
Hey, there you go. That's excellent. There you go. Gotta go to Monster Jam later, fellas. Yes, what's up, Sin Havoc? Yeah, they could definitely do that. That would be fantastic. The way of building it up, make it so like, I mean, and then just having Supergirl like say, okay, this happened, and say, I remember when I arrived and stuff. In other words, reference it, like do a flashback at least, so it's not like you have to play the game in order to understand why Supergirl's here. And for the movie is what I'm talking about. But yeah, they could definitely do that. Hey, what's up, Kid Takeoff? Gunn is on a mission from God. Remember that comment?
I'll never let that comment go.
That is like the stupidest comment I have ever heard.
Wait, I got good terminology for that. Wacky.
Yeah, you know what? That's deserving of this. Hang on, where is this? I have a good comment for that, and I feel like it's appropriate at this point. Yeah.
Yeah, second Warner Brothers.
Yeah, suck it, Warner Brothers.
Tevia says, so similar to the ASM movie tie-in games. Yeah, exactly. Or like the Spider-Man 3 one, or like basically, or the Green Lantern game, where it's basically a sequel to movie.
I think, yeah, JJheat isn't here. He's passed out. Just to let you guys know.
Yeah.
But yeah, Marvel's, well, not Marvel Spider-Man. Spider-Man 2 and Spider-Man 3 were big tie-in games, and they both did well. Especially Spider-Man 2. So if they did that for a Superman game, though, on a grander scale, just imagine the feedback.
Yeah. They could, and guess what? They didn't. Because here's the thing about Warner Bros. Again, I say a lot like Spider-Man 3. Yeah, exactly. Well, Spider-Man 3 was more of an adaptation of the plot with more bonus stuff put in there. They could also do that and just make a game version of the movie and then just expand on it.
Yeah, they could do that. Plus, on top of that, you know how in Spider-Man 3 you had different territories? What if they're Intergang?
Yes.
Intergang.
There you go.
Takes over.
But the ASM movie tie-in game sucked. It doesn't matter if they suck. The idea is still a good idea, Tevia. Just because they didn't work out that time.
The ideas are good, and as well, I just think what makes it cool if we have wear and tear for the skins. That's another thing too.
Oh yes, that's another thing we need. As the game goes by too. In other words, like kind of like the way Arkham does it, because that's a good indicator of how far you've come in the story.
Not like Arkham. Not like Arkham. Amazing Spider-Man and Amazing Spider-Man 2, you had wear and tear as you progress through the game, no matter whether you're in free roam or even in the mission.
Yeah.
You do notice the tears in the costume, especially with the skins you were in. So that was a big feature. I think that was a really cool feature, and that would be great. But I want to ask you this question, Jared.
Yeah.
Right? This is a really good question for you.
What's up?
Do you think they need to do a sequel to Superman Braniac in both in the comic and animation?
That's a good question. You mean animated sequel?
Yeah.
And by the way, Sin Havoc, James Gunn doesn't know who Intergang is. He knows about Mixelplick though. Yeah, I got a better idea. Why I don't have the Superman game be on its own self-contained universe. Well, that's the ideal situation, but James Gunn wants to tie it into the movie, so we're just acting within the area, the sort of parameters that we have.
In the context.
Yeah, in the context of. But in terms of sequel to it, I mean, what would be the story to a sequel to Superman Brainiac? I'm for it because I think that'd be pretty awesome. Like, oh, I got another one. If you beat the game, it unlocks a Brainiac campaign that shows the origin of Brainiac, where you're playing as Brainiac going from Kal-El all the way to the beginning of the game.
Yeah, that would be cool, and I think as well, in terms of a villain that they could do, what if they went into the future, Supergirl and
War? Remember the new Krypton arc that came out after this, where the Kryptonians invade and take over?
I never saw that movie.
No, it's the sequel to this in the comics.
There was a sequel to this called New Krypton, wasn't there?
Yeah. It was a continuation of the series where the Kryptonians invaded, and at first Clark wanted to a level for Kandor would have been cool, or prequel where it takes place with Supergirl and is showing her escaping Krypton during the explosion.
Her perspective of it.
Yeah, there's any number of ways because I always love when when games give you more than a cutscene to beat the game. I mean, they also have to have a really cool skin for that you can use throughout New Game Plus if you beat the game.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I got another one. Remember that arc from that? Remember the Darkseid suit from that Elseworld story where Superman was raised by Darkseid?
Yeah.
We need that, and he can shoot Omega beams,
laser beams.
Yeah. After that, the Aftergame Award, you can buy bonus DLC, different stories and timelines. Yeah, exactly. That's a cool idea. In other words, they can make this a 10-year game. They don't have to keep making Superman games. They can just say, here's a Superman game, and we're going to add on to this as we go on.
Pretty much like Xenoverse 2 for Dragon Ball Z games.
Yeah.
Because that's been going on for 10 plus years.
Yeah, there you go. That's the best way that they can do this and make their bang for their buck They have the roots of the game here with like the base storyline, and they just add into the experience. And obviously, as movies come out, you put in suits. That's my biggest issue, and that's the heartbreaking thing about like Arkham, because I wish they added in some of the movie suits for Arkham, even if they're not like continuing on with the game, because Spider-Man did that. Because can you imagine the tactical bat suit, the Justice League Batmobile, the Pattinson bat suit? Oh yes, how about a game for the New Gods? That would be so dope.
That'd be
Cool.
interesting.
Yeah, a lot of what ifs. In other words, is what we're saying. Yeah, exactly. And again, see, here's the thing. This is the problem with DC. They have endless potential, and they
But
won't
they don't.
do it.
But they don't do it. Yes.
It's like, well, first off, remember this was supposed to be a live action movie with Henry Cavill as Superman.
Tevia, they're not going to do that. I'm afraid
they're not going to do Superman Reborn because they're not going to merge two Supermen together. They are not going to do that. They're going to make in order to make a game. Yes, I know that you want that, but I need you to listen to me. To make a game, they have to make it so it's the simplest story possible.
Yes, think Highfather and Darkseid.
Yes. Because here's the thing. Merging two Supermen together into another Superman that rewrites the timeline, that does not translate well and will not make a good game or a movie.
Orion versus Calabac.
Yes. Big Barda versus any of the Furies.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's a cool idea. Just a New Gods game where you play as like Hi-Fi, where there's like, remember in the Transformers game where there was a good guy campaign, a bad guy campaign? They could do that.
I had a really good one.
What's up?
A New Gods fighting game.
Oh yes. That's it. We can play as all the different New Gods characters. That would be cool. The Amazing Spider-Man says, what are you talking about, Jared? Arkham has 89. No, but I mean, like, after that, because they had, like, the Justice League suit, the Pattinson suit, if they added in more of that. That's what I'm saying. If they continue to add more.
If they added more content to the game, Spider-Man, because of the delay of Suicide Squad, it would have made more sense to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Because now it's coming, because you got to remember, Spider-Man, Suicide Squad Killer Justice League is being delayed to next year, and it's coming up to 4 years now since the announcement.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, geez, that was during a fandom, I think. The first fandom is when they announced that. I think
first fandom, yes, first fandom when the Suicide Squad game was first announced.
Hmm.
So like, and plus as well, like if I was James Gunn, I would take total opportunity to make a Superman game right now. Take the advantage. The ball's in your court.
And Spider-Man, I mean more, because the Spider-Man game came out many more than 2 years ago. In other words, the Spider-Man game was adding content to the game. Every time there's a Spider-Man appearance in any movie, they add the suit in there.
Until last year, by the way, they finished the content last year. Just remember that. Marvel Spider-Man had only content up to last year or year before.
When did the game come out?
2018.
2018 to 2022.
2021, 2022, yeah.
Yeah, so that's about four years or so. But that's what I'm saying. Because let me put it this way, Arkham came out at the time when Justice League was about to come out. So they could have added in like the Justice League Batmobile and the Justice League Batsuit, the tactical Batsuit, or even the Nightmare Batsuit.
They could have also had Robert Pattinson.
Yeah, exactly. They could have done that. And then Tevye says, wait a second. Why haven't we gotten a Wally West Flash? Yes, exactly. Why haven't we gotten a Flash game in general? That's the other question.
There was a Flash game in development at the same time as the Superman game for Factor 5, but both of them got cancelled because the publisher, Brash Entertainment, went bust.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's why. We are also getting a new Spider-Man game this year. Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
That looks great.
That looks great, yes. So, like, myself and Jared will probably react to it. You know, we're thinking about doing a reaction to the PlayStation Showcase.
Yeah, I know. They could have still added it in later.
BVS was actually added in at the end of 2015.
Yeah,
towards the
because the
beginning of
movie, yeah, it was added then because it was supposed to hype people up for. It came out like that the year Arkham came out. That's what I'm saying.
and that's what we're saying is that if I was in Warner Brothers shoes, put as much suits as you can.
Yeah, Superboy meets World. That's
Sync
awesome.
Havoc. I Sync Havoc. I love you, bro. I love
That's
you, bro.
awesome. But yeah, as you were saying, Teladia.
Like, here's the thing. Warner Brothers. If I was in Warner Brothers shoes right now, you're making a DC game. You're gonna have to make it a big IP. Superman's your top-notch guy. You have to bring it out. You can't do another Batman game and expect people to eat up Batman after with the poor reception for Gotham Knights.
Exactly.
That's the way I see it, right? And plus you could do as many skins as you want, and you could do it for 2 years easily.
Spider-Man asks, what are guys Gotham's greatest scores? You mean music?
I think he means music, yeah.
And I would have to say the Batman.
For me, it was have to be.
Well, actually, no. The Batman Begins, I think.
I think, yeah, Batman Begins and BVS score. For me.
In terms of yeah, play individual stories and what if, and even a story with the team and I mentioned every single version of these characters ever created, and even exclusive in-game crossover with the story DLCs. That'd be a great idea. I would love a Superman game. We get you want that. It's
Yeah,
I
but
got it.
it's not happening.
Not happening because guess what? If they adapt John Kent, here's what they're gonna do. They're gonna synergize it with the comics and make John Kent the older kid. That's just the way it's gonna work. That's just the way these
Spider-Man,
companies work.
I have to disagree with you there.
No, I'm sorry. While the Arkham Knight score is great, it's not. It doesn't top BVS, the Batman, or Batman Begins.
Or
at least in our
City.
opinions. Let me be clear that's fine. If that's your opinion. It's just my opinion is a little different.
Mine's as well is completely different as well. Like even Arkham City has a better score than Arkham Knights.
True.
But you guys, Sync said, you guys ready for Crypto talking to Superboy meets World?
Will he be talking though?
I wonder.
To BVS, ZSJL, and the Dark Knight, amazing musical scores. Yes, I agree. 10-year-old John Kent. That came out, I believe, when he was still a kid, though.
2018.
Yeah, he was still a kid. That came out before the age up. That's why they were able to do that. Which, by the way, Tevia, that game also has, by the way, Damien. So I bet you could place the Super Sons in that one.
Yeah,
Arkham Origins is better in my opinion. Well, that's a
Christopher Drake didn't do a better score though than Nick Ardell did in Arkham City. Just saying, the stating facts.
Oh, okay. You meant scoreboards. I don't know off the top of my head in terms of what my Arkham scoreboard is. I know it's like over 100,000 or something like that. I have to check.
I can't remember my overall scoreboard.
And Nick, what's up?
Nick, yes.
But yeah, and by the way, Nick, right now we're talking about how to make a Superman game with skins that reference. By the way, if with the black suit skin, can we give him the mullet?
Yes. He needs the mullet.
And he can even have it where like his flying animation is the jet boots he had in the comics instead of make it as distinct as possible. No one has over 100K. I was just estimating because I don't know off the top of my head what my score is in the Arkham games. Yeah, I knew it. I was so happy. Yeah, exactly. He says, how's everyone doing? I'm house sitting. Oh, cool. Yes, exactly. Rocket boots. That's what you need. The solar suit. Yeah, exactly. It's the black suit. What's up, Jaron Teladia? Rami Malek for Braniac, David Warren for Metallo, and Mike Myers for Toyman. That could actually work. As much as Draga comes up with really weird casting choices, yes, that could 100% work. Most people are in the one. I'm close to the 20. Yeah, that's fine, dude. That's fine. Oh, speaking of DC villains, I would love to see Cyborg. Yes.
How are you gonna get Cyborg Superman in a movie? That doesn't work.
Actually, here's why it does work, Tevia. Teladia. Here's how you do that. You ready?
Wait. Play the clip because you just.
No, I didn't. Here's the clip. Here's the way you adapt this. as a prequel campaign. So Braniac is the reason why the space shuttle blows up. He takes Hank Henshaw's body and turns him into Cyborg Superman. And we have another person in the back chat. So let me do that.
I am Phoenix.
What's up?
He's saying.
And you're muted. I can't hear you, Nick. Yeah, okay. 1 minute. 1 minute. 3, 2, 1. Oh, Lobo in a Superman game. Yes.
Yes, Lobo would be awesome.
Testing.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Now I can
Yes.
hear you. So what do you think, Nick? So our basic idea is a Superman game where where we have skins for like all the different eras of Superman, even the movies, and each skin gives you a special ability.
I'm just gonna say the black suit gives you guns.
Well, yeah, that too. But the black suit also gives you enhanced health regeneration because it's like a solar suit to build in solar radiation. The new 52 kit gives you the solar flare and maybe even the ability to turn to Doomsday. The Unchained armor gives you enhanced like damage protection.
The George Reeves suit turns everything black and white.
Actually, that's not a bad idea. That's actually not a bad idea.
That's a good idea.
And by the way, for those who don't realize, I said George Reeves. I'm talking Adventures of Superman from the 50s, like the TV show.
And the Christopher Reeve suit gives you ability to rebuild walls just by staring at it. Or when you kiss Lois Lane, she forgets everything.
And the Man of Steel suit makes every woman just go down and be like, ah.
The Man of Steel suit has one of the like vanishing moves for the Man of Steel suit is a neck snap. The Kryptonian armor from Man of Steel has to be a skin.
What about the DCAU suit?
DCAU?
The
DC
STAT
animated
suit.
unit.
But what would be the special ability of that one? Making you more weak, because that's what they do with Superman.
Basically,
The AMU it gives you the ability to romance Wonder Woman.
That's well. Let's be honest here. If you were making that game, that would be the main romance of the game.
I would give you I would do it in a role playing game style where you can essentially like Mass Effect.
Well, you know which route I'm taking.
I know no, but you're playing a Superman, so you can't do Wonderbat.
No, I specifically piss off Wonder Woman so she goes in the arms of Bruce.
No, you can't do that. I'm not saying that. I'm not adapting that. No, I would make it virtually impossible for that to happen.
I literally snuck into the office at midnight and reprogrammed the game while you weren't looking.
Yeah, what you didn't know is that was a trap, and it drops her even more in the arms of Superman. So, ha 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 ha. Ben Affleck is a skin.
Yes, that would be perfect.
That's awesome.
Frank Miller's Superman suit.
Now that I just gotta say that when we talk about that movie, that really brings Save Martha really into discussion.
I know. Oh yeah, because
okay. I got this. So what we're talking about is Hollywoodland. The story of George Reeves, by the way, like Superman I just mentioned. So actually, that's pretty well done. It's in that movie, the femme fatale is played by Diane Lane, who also plays Martha. And by the way, he has a intimate relationship with this femme fatale in the movie.
That's a meme, by the way.
Why did you say that name?
That's a meme.
Oh, I just gotta say that drop has never been more relevant.
Yes,
ever.
I would.
It will never.
Oh yes, and by the way, Tevia, you know me well, brother. You know me very well. A Super Doom skin, yes. And what that kit gives you when you're in the Super Doom skin, it's just basically, in case you don't know what that is, it's a Superman Doomsday hybrid. It turns it into Incredible Hulk Ultimate Destruction.
Oh, so the Bizarro suit literally mirrors everything.
Yeah.
Like the audio gets mirrored, literally the entire world gets mirror flipped.
Right. You can play as Bizarro in the Superman Returns game, and it turns into Destroy Metropolis. Oh, and here's what I would do. I would like cooperate with Amazon and go, can we have a Homelander skin? Which, as he kills, he goes, I could do whatever the hell I want. I wouldn't do the F word because it's the Superman game. Question, how would you do the Frank Miller suit? Yeah, I mean, here's the thing.
Whenever you lay on his landing animation, and he goes like this, and the eagle perches on his arm.
Yeah, that would be so good. That's the idle animation, or like you don't do anything. He puts the arm out, the eagle lands on it.
Like for like a bald eagle just pops out of nowhere and lands on his arm. Like, where did that eagle come from?
And then his like taunting dialogue is when he goes, one of these days they're gonna ask me to bring you in. No, and then that one also another animation is that he knocks on a big door. It opens. There's a bloody Wonder Woman holding his baby, and then he makes out with her. That's a reference to Master Race, by the way.
Yeah,
hey, Brightburn skin. Oh, Brightburn skin. Oh, jeez.
You know. Okay, I gotta say this real quick. You know, there's gonna be a Brightburn Easter egg at Superman Legacy. You know it.
And by the way, I wouldn't be surprised if DC starts doing Brightburn comics.
I wouldn't be surprised if a Brightburn poster somehow shows up in Superman Legacy.
Yeah, or like one of the posters for Superman Legacy is an homage to Brightburn.
No, they're not going to do that. But seeing as how a lot of the DCAU movies have references to the Conjuring universe, you know that you do know that, right?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
No, there's multiple of them. Like,
no, I know.
Oh, I got a good skin. Solar Man.
Okay. How about this one? Electric Blue Superman.
I'm blue, da da dee da da da.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like, Superman Blue is like he all of his powers turn lightning themed.
What about Superman like his kryptonite suit from the animated show?
Which kryptonite suit is that?
You mean the protective suit?
Protective suit, like his space, like one of his space suit kind of thing. Because Superman
makes him invulnerable to kryptonite.
Yeah,
like there are certain parts of the map that you can only traverse if you have that suit on.
Mm-hmm.
Or James Gunn's super. No, I wouldn't put anything super in there. Kingdom Come Superman. Oh, this dude just has enhanced punching.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I don't care. I'm giving Superman the Superboy suit.
Oh yeah,
like,
yeah.
He gets he basically gets a leather jacket, but like all the half of his abilities are halved.
That's a good idea. Oh, and by the way,
I got a good one.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
The Jim Lee Nuft 2, design.
Again, he makes out with Wonder Woman. That's the animation.
Okay, I got one for you. Cyborg Superman, and the ability is he's more potent against machines.
That works. Or how about this? And by the way, Nick, if we do the black suit, we are gonna give him the mullet.
You freaking better.
We're not avoiding that, and he has guns and stuff. New 52 blue jeans and a shirt. Yeah, it had the t-shirt and the cape. In that one, he doesn't fly; he just super jumps.
Also, there's one skin that you guys are missing: the Henry Cavill skin. It's just Henry Cavill.
Just Henry Cavill.
Just like in street clothes. It's just him in street clothes.
Kenan Kong Superman. Well, we're still that's a good suggestion, but for the purpose of this game, we're sticking with the Clark Kent Superman. But that's a good suggestion, though. The Quantum Superman from Grant Morrison's Final Crisis. We see the origin and in Doomsday Clock. Superman Beyond. Okay. Val Zod.
Yes. The Superman Beyond suit. Yes, please.
Yeah. So that's a kick-ass character design, by the way. I love that one.
You outlive us. Also, you outlive us all.
Yeah, Red Sun. Oh yes. They had a skin for that in Injustice 1, I believe.
Yes.
What about the Man of Tomorrow? With like the shades.
You mean the Eradicator?
I'm talking Death of Superman.
Yeah. The Eradicator.
Eradicator.
Oh, okay. But like, just like he had like those big shades.
Yeah, the Eradicator. That works. I can see that. You could also do for like a DLC. You could play as John Henry Irons.
Okay,
Oh.
if we're talking a Superman game, let's talk villains. Like let's say
We
we're
said
going like this,
Braniac.
okay, but let's assume it's like the Spider-Man PS4 game where you have like multiple villains. What other villains do we want to see? Metallo has to be one of
Parasite,
them.
Metallo,
Metallo. By the way,
Lex
you owe me a
Luthor.
Coke.
Oh, Ultraman, evil Superman. Yes,
Japanese Toku fans just know exactly what I did.
yeah. We could do like okay, so yes, 100% Braniac. Braniac is the main villain, and the side ones are like Lex Luthor, Metallo,
Roxy Rocket.
Parasite- no,
Come
Livewire,
on.
and I was thinking when you fight Parasite, you can't punch him because he'll absorb your powers and make you weaker.
Okay, here's my idea. What if we have a Supergirl in this game and you treat her like Miles Morales in the Spider-Man games, to where she's a part of the story and like maybe sometimes you play as her, and then you get like a standalone DLC with her. And by the way, Livewire has to be her villain for that DLC.
Yeah, Bruno Mannheim. Yeah, exactly. And Tevia, again, if they adapt it's John Kent into an anime, into a game, it's going to be the older John Kent.
Also,
Mhm.
what do you think Connor would appear in here?
Yeah, he could appear. There will be other Superman family characters appearing in the game, like Kara, Connor, maybe even. See, here's the thing, and this is a new 52 inspired game that Tevi and I are doing. So no John Kent. Probably. Who? Obviously, again, we would have John Henry Irons. Maybe Lana Lang as Superwoman because she was Superwoman in the new 52 was pretty cool.
Cat Grant is going to be in the Supergirl DLC.
Or in the Superman DLC, because in the new 52, she and Clark started an internet blog.
Okay. Also, I just want Cat Grant to be voiced by Calista Flockhart, because I'm sorry, but Calista Flockhart did a great job as Cat Grant in the series.
No, Tevia, it's inspired by the new 52. We are going to do the new 52 Superboy suit, the Tron suit. Sorry, I read that wrong. And yes, we're not doing that suit because that suit was horrible.
No, we're putting
Tron
Superboy. We're putting Superboy in a leather jacket.
I'd rather have him in the 90s suit than whatever the hell they did. And we'll make in the Arkham movie, we can also change his skin. So that way I can also have the early 2000s one, the t-shirt and the jeans. We can have both. How old is the Superman, your pitch of a game? He's like the new 52A, so he's kind of late 20s, early 30s.
I mean, honestly, if you're doing like a Superboy where like, because I'm using the Spider-Man PS4 game, so I'm kind of using the Spider-Man PS4 game as a framework for this kind of thing. Like I'm kind of so like that's what like a lot of my decisions are made with that game as kind of like the baseline and kind of using because like just something to build off of.
And Dave,
so, like
Superboy Prime would be the most impossible boss battle ever.
He literally punched reality.
No, that has to be a skin. Superboy Prime.
Yeah, I mean, like for skins, literally anything goes, in my opinion.
We also had an idea for Yellow Lantern Superman from Injustice, and he can use hard light constructs. Will Wraith be in it? That's a question.
I don't think that's the best idea because that might be a little bit too much to code in.
Well, what we're doing is essentially saying, regardless of coding, here's our dream list.
All right. I don't know.
Yes, now, Nick, we would also have it be semi-open world, where when you're in Metropolis, it's open world, but when you're like on Braniac's ship, it's just straightforward.
Also, can we agree there will not be any Mary Jane inspired sneaking sequences of Lois? Please, for the love of God, no.
No, you're only playing as Superman, Superboy, or Supergirl, any of the super people. You're not playing as Lois Lane.
I will say
no role in this game.
Okay, after having played the PS4 game, those sections they're not as tedious as people make them out to be, but they break up the flow. Like they interrupt. Yeah. They're annoying because like you're used to being Spider-Man and now you're just the levels themselves aren't terrible.
Black Lantern, Golden Age Superman. Yes, Earth 2 Superman. That's just kind of just Superman, though, except with the great temples, too. Just an idea. Just to clarify our idea, we're doing Superman skins that we can attach a special ability to.
Yeah.
It's like the Unchained suit. It gives him a more resistance to damage. Will Crypto be in it? Okay, fine.
Yeah. He'll
No
probably
reason
be
not to.
he'll probably be AI help you out. Like I could really see like Crypto helping you out for a few missions, and then like after that you unlock him for the open world.
Yeah, it's like in the animation of calling him as Superman whistles. He's like, and then Crypto comes in.
So like he helps you out, like he helps out for 3 missions, and you unlock him for the open world.
Yeah,
you fly around with Crypto, and he like helps you beat up villains.
Yeah, play as the villain as well for the Superman game. That could be a good like prequel to actually no. The villain you play as soon as you beat the game is Cyborg Superman.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. It's just it's something to kind of keep the same mechanics of playing a Superman. Or the villain DLC you play as General Zod.
Okay, so if we do like a standalone kind of DLC, kind of like Spider-Man Miles Morales style, which character do you think should feature? Is it to be Supergirl or John Kent?
And by the way, real quick, in Tevia, no, I'm saying it would be heavily inspired by the new 52 in terms of suit and essentially characterization. But we're allowed, since this isn't taking place in the new 52, to pick our own, to pick the villains we want to see. And yes, that was a stupid decision to make Cyborg Superman Zor-El.
By the way, if we do like the Supergirl standalone DLC, one of the costumes has to be the Apocalypse suit.
Yes, it does. Yeah, you mean the very angsty teenager one?
Yes, the one where he was like working with Apocalypse.
Yeah. And now let's do this. What other side characters would you want to have in the game? Would you want to have some Justice Leaguers show up? If it's a Braniac invasion, you have to think that some of them would show up.
No, I think this would be a
well, obviously.
I got a Droga. Please, for the love of God, do not have any version of Screwball, please.
Yeah, exactly. And by the way,
I could very easily see them doing like Livewire being their replacement for Screwball. You know, cause like her Shock Jock days. Like I could totally see them doing that before it becomes Livewire.
Yeah, Martian Manhunter. Yeah, I could see that. Like he'll be the one who assembles the Justice League. Obviously, Wonder Woman is gonna.
Sam Lane.
Obviously, Wonder Woman is going to play a heavy role in my version of the Superman game.
Sam Lane has to appear.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and to be clear, Lois Lane plays a role, but she's just there for a mission, then she's gone.
Also, in this universe, Lois Lane does not know about Superman's identity, so we're going back to STAS here. So
we're going back to New 52 as well, because I believe, she didn't find out that Clark was Superman until the end in the DCU era. Bibbo Babowski, yes, that's when the game opens up. Clark is in the diner having lunch. Oh, yes, Danagar's suit, Justice Apocalypse War suit, yes, that'd be awesome. Oh, of course, Jimmy Olsen has to show up.
Yes, bring on the bow tie.
Bring on the bow tie. Yeah, exactly. And you could have a part. Obviously, the Kent should show up. Wonder Woman might work. Maybe Icon. The problem is having the code unique
there is
powers.
One character. There is one character that needs to make a cameo, Stan Lee style. Zack Snyder.
Yes. And by the way,
so what I mean by that is you basically have Superman talking to Zack Snyder, like it's a Zack Snyder cameo.
Oh no, Zack is pitching him Man of Steel.
Oh my God! Imagine Clark goes into like a studio and it's like he's talking like Zack Snyder. He's talking about pitching his own studio. It's like, oh, it could be awesome. We could have Henry Cavill play Superman.
Yeah. And by the way, but Tevia, here's the thing: in my game, Lois plays virtually no role in the thing. And there's no reason to have her know Superman's identity, because guess what? We've done these. She knows Superman's identity way too many times. So let's go back. just change the status quo. Steve Lombard, that's a big Me Too harassment lawsuit. Coach just screaming right there.
I don't
Have
know
Jeff
the
Johns
particulars.
no. Jeff Johns stays away from it. No. Jim Lee, yes. Jeff Johns, absolutely not. And by the way, Tevia, I want to play this right now.
Why did you say that, Dad?
You know who really needs to make a cameo and who should probably write this entire game?
What?
This.
Why did you say that, Dad?
No, we're not doing that. And Droga, no, you guys suck for bringing that up.
Sorry, I just wanted to troll you. I wanted to troll
Even
you.
Tevia's like, no.
Sorry, I had to troll you guys.
Now, do you guys think we should put in like a co-op element into it? Where I think 4-player co-op up to 4 players. In other words, you don't have to do 4-player co-op, and then each player plays as like a different Superman family member. And Droga's just naming all the controversial Superman people here.
Oh god. So
That being said,
that's
if Brandon Ralph made a cameo, I would not be opposed to that.
The Brandon Routh suit, except what would be his special ability? Super stalking. He has enhanced X-ray vision. What's up?
I got a good one. The what's it called? The Superman and what's it called? The Adventures of Superman, Lois and Clark suit.
The Dean Cain suit.
Yeah, the Dean Cain suit.
No way in hell I want Bendis writing the Superman game because it's writing sucks. Thank you, Tavia.
But he has the blue emblem.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and also, when you do that suit, basically you get like a '90s VHS kind of filter on it, so it takes on. It looks like it's a TV. It looks like a VHS recording.
Yeah. And then when you play as the S-Task version and you fight Darkseid, because of inevitably Darkseid would show up in like the over the lifespan of this game, you have 100% word for word. It's going to be the speech where he goes, "I feel like I live in a world made of cardboard, but you can take it, can't you, big man?"
Oh,
that's going to be in the game.
So there is a Superman 64 suit, which basically turns you into the Superman 64 model, and then basically the superpower. Hear me out.
No.
Okay,
oh, by the way, Dave.
No.
Have a hack.
No. Hear me out. The power is when you have the suit engaged, when you're flying around, rings will randomly appear, and you have to fly through.
No.
Yeah,
no.
Get him out.
So, Ryan, they could have a hack comic writer who actually blinds Superman with his bald head during a battle. Ryan Mitchell Stratus. Nice. That's awesome. Wait, there's one suit no one mentioned. Action Comics #1 from 1940s. Yes. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Obviously, you have to have that. And the special ability, he lifts up green cars in a special way.
Oh, he jumps from
all the cars he lifts up turn green.
No, that what's it called? Mark Fletcher suit, right?
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, this game has to have a photo mode.
Yes, absolutely.
Like because you know that people will be wanting to recreate their favorite Superman covers, like especially Action Comics #1.
Yeah, you have to.
Comics #1.
That should be a challenge, as a matter of fact.
By the way, the S-Task suit makes you cell shaded because you know, like that one Spider-Man suit, where you get like cell shaded.
Mm-hmm. And then Dan Turpin and Maggie Sawyer. Okay, yeah, in terms of if they're doing like a more small scale story, because this is the idea of a game that would last for 10 years, and they just keep adding in stuff.
Live service. Ugh.
But not live service the traditional way. It's just live service as in every so often we have a DLC that comes out for the game for free. You don't have to buy any skins per se.
Like I get we're doing like fantasy, like what we want to see, but my logical brain is having a really hard time not trying to be like, there's no way this could work. Like so just bear with me. I'm like struggling. So
yeah. And another one that would be kind of cool. Yep. So some of the Superman and Lois show that brings Action Comics down. Yeah, exactly. And I would make that.
God,
what I would do, that would be an achievement in the game where it gives or like the it gives you an achievement every time you recreate a famous Superman cover.
I got a good one.
Also,
what's up?
the achievement.
Teladia was
achievement-
first.
Okay.
The Injustice comic.
Oh yeah, and that one, Superman gets bonus points for brutally killing people.
Okay, let's talk about like some achievement names. So when you finally romance Wonder Woman, the achievement is "Suck it, Bruce."
Yes, yes.
And then when you unlock the black suit from the 90s black suit, the achievement is always being prepared.
Yeah, or it's that's so 90s.
No,
by the way-
no. That's the line from the comic where he's like, where Clark says, "Like a Boy Scout, I always come prepared." Like that's literally the line of the comic.
Yeah, actually, the achievement for when you romance Wonder Woman, that's actually going to be "You're strong." ... I know, because that's their first interaction from the new 52.
Okay.
That's the way I would say it. And yes, Tevia, that's what I'm talking about. It would essentially give you suits for free. It's just the only suits that you would conceivably buy with in-game currency that you just get by playing the game is like movie suits. But all these suits that we're talking about, these homage suits, would be free. Would be free and unlocked as you progress through the game.
Oh, the achievement for beating Metallo is called "That's So Metal."
Yes. Yes.
Also, the achievement for beating Braniac is you have to have a very high IQ.
Yes. The achievement for beating Darkseid is World of Cardboard.
Oh,
yeah.
No, it's World Made of Cardboard. No, actually, I got it. Let me show you how strong I truly am.
Yeah, I like it.
Also, the achievement for beating Zod is he did stop.
Oh, and the achievement you get for unlocking the black suit Superman from the Snyder Cut, because inevitably all the Snyder suits are going to be in here, is not impressed.
I got that Zod achievement name. You kneel before me.
Yeah, but I want to reference the neck snapping just to screw with people. But yes, that's a better one. Oh, and the one for the BVS suit is "The bat is dead. Bury it."
Consider this mercy.
Yeah, exactly.
No. Because like these like the achievement is very short, but like the bat is dead, bury it as like the achievement for like know like let's say there's a Batman whatever.
And then, by the way, the sequel to this game is going to be a Justice League game where you start off only playing as Superman, but you unlock the different heroes. Because I have this idea: when you unlock Wonder Woman to play as, the achievement is she with you?
Okay. I got one for you. So if you go the route where you romance Lois Lane, the achievement is, but why?
Yes. Oh no, that's so basic. No, but I like the "but why."
Just imagine you just put in all that work to romance Lois Lane. The achievement is, but ... why?
Nick, I had this idea where you could toggle on the trunks on the suit, and then if you toggle them on, you unlock an achievement that says "seriously." Like we legit screw with people as they unlock achievements.
Also, if you're playing a Supergirl and she has a skirt and you try to look up, you get an achievement be like pervert.
Yeah, exactly. And the meeting Zack Snyder one is the achievement title is "Restore the Snyderverse."
No, it's #Restore the Snyderverse.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. I really don't want the one with you knowing you. Yeah, I mean Tevia. In terms of sales, it outsells Lois Lane and Superman. So I'm just saying the more popular one according to fan base, at least according to sales, is Superman and Wonder Woman.
But okay.
And by the way, preview from my series with Brit.
Also, okay, I got one for you. So if we have like a Green Lantern in this game, if you unlock the movie suit, the achievement is green and animated.
She's so good. Yeah, and then Green Lantern, and it's like at least it's voiced by at least Ryan Reynolds is voicing me or something like that. Yeah.
So what? As far as Wonder Woman stuff, we have to do the Linda Carter suit.
Oh yeah, it'd be these suits I would have. It has to be the gold armor. The gold armor has to
let's
be
just talk. Let's just talk costumes for video games for all the DC characters at this point.
Yeah.
So
gold armor for Wonder
right
Woman. Gold armor for Wonder Woman. The Gal Gadot suit for Wonder Woman. The Linda Carter suit. You just have to. The animated Wonder Woman suit.
Yeah.
Let's see what's another good one. The golden armor from 1984, and that's the only thing from 1984 that would carry over.
In the Wonder Woman game, if you're romance Batman, the achievement is, this isn't canon, right?
Yeah, or it's just it's the quote from Zack Snyder saying it doesn't work.
I'm sorry, I'm in full suck up mode right now, so.
Yes, exactly. And if you romance Superman, it goes as things should be. And then Steve Trevor, it's like no.
The achievement is a new 52 fan I see.
And when you romance Steve Trevor, it's like stalking is bad.
No. The finale for like that romance plot line is like they fly up and they literally do the framing from the new 52.
They have to do that cover. They recreate the cover. Yes, exactly. And what's kind of what I would do is the finale for the Steve Trevor romance. It's not a romance. She just decides I want Superman. Yeah, I'm gonna screw. Again, this would be my opportunity to screw with people. It'd be so good.
Yeah.
Reverse Wonder Woman from Robot Chicken. That'd be hilarious.
Also, when you defeat Ares in the Wonder Woman storyline, the achievement is you killed the wrong God of War.
Or goodbye.
No. Did you not even get the joke? You killed the wrong God of War.
I'm not. No, we can't reference God of War. The rule for these is it has to be a DC themed statement.
No, Ares is a God of War. But like it's a great ref. Come on, it's a great one.
No, but the one for Wonder Woman, it's like goodbye, brother, because that's what she said when she killed Ares.
Yeah, but I think mine's better because because these achievements are usually like pretty jokey. Like it's supposed to pop up, you're supposed to chuckle.
What's the wrong God of War reference to?
Kratos, literally God of War.
No, I'm saying we don't reference outside of DC.
Why not?
Because it's a DC game, and how many people are gonna really recognize that?
Literally everybody. Literally,
it's a DC game. Okay, in my game, that
more people know God of War, the game, than they know Ares as the God of War. Especially if you're playing a video game.
But Nick, if you watch the Wonder Woman, most people that are playing this Wonder Woman game have seen the Wonder Woman movie.
It's literally a 2-second joke. It's you defeat Ares, and the achievement is you killed the wrong God of War. It's
okay. In your game,
this is a game.
That's the achievement. That's fine. In your game, it's the achievement. That's fine.
You don't need to be so uptight, buddy.
No, I'm not upset. I'm just saying I'm refuting it. I'm saying it doesn't work for this context.
It's perfect for this context.
No, because it confuses with the Wonder Woman 1 plot.
No, it doesn't.
She thought that Ludendorff was the God of War.
This is a video game.
But if you, whatever, I'm not arguing this anymore.
It's a video game, and it's a achievement that pops up. This is literally out of universe. Wonder Woman never even sees this achievement. Like,
do your own.
To disagree. Okay.
Do your own. If in your Wonder Woman game, that's fine. You can have that. But in terms of, let's see, in terms of obviously we're not going to do a Batman game because guess what? Everyone's done a Batman game.
Batman games had too many 4 games already. You don't need any more. Bury it. Consider this mercy.
Mercy. In terms of like the Flash game, you would have all the Flash suits from the show. You would have the Ezra Miller suits. You would have the Wally West suit.
Grant Gustin.
No, I said that. It's all the Flash suits from the show.
Oh,
what about do a Green Arrow game?
Actually, I'd say a Green Arrow game could work really well, especially like an open world Green Arrow game could work really well because I think Green Arrow, like Batman, is limited enough that you could actually make a really good game out of it.
Okay, that's true. And they could do like the game could be his origin, like you start off on the island, and that's the tutorial area.
Yeah, that works. No disagreement there. That's perfect for a tutorial thing. Also
Yeah,
for
and
costumes,
Tevia, I'm not highlighting
have-
any more Super Stunt stuff.
for costumes for the Green Arrow, we have to have at least 1 or 2 arrow suits.
Oh, of course.
So
It has to be the season 1 and then the season 2, the season 3 suit. I think that had like his bare arms and like a couple of straps on it. It looked super badass.
Yeah, I give him probably the season 1, then probably like season 3 or 4 when they got a little more refined, for sure. Also, if Deathstroke is in this game, oh my god, we have to give him like his arrow costume. At one
Deathstroke gets his own game. It's basically Call of Duty.
Also, one of Deathstroke's costumes is Slade.
Yes. What were you gonna say, Teladia?
Nightmare Flash suit.
Yes. Nightmare, all the suits, like Nightmare Flash, Nightmare. Well, it's kind of funny. The Nightmare Wonder Woman suit is just a tombstone because she's dead in the Nightmare timeline.
Jared, I really want to see you do Nightmare Batman at some point. I swear.
As a cosplay, oh, that's gonna happen. That is going to happen.
Like that would be so cool.
Mm-hmm. Let's see what else. In terms of how about an Aquaman game?
No, that'd be too complex.
John Wesley Shipp, nice.
90s suit, yeah, the 90s suit.
That could work really well. And then
Also,
in terms of like,
in this game, you have the Trickster, and he's voiced by Mark Hamill.
Yeah,
Mark Hamill would do it because like Mark Hamill would voice a Trickster in a video game. Like that's an easy get.
in terms of the Green Lantern game, what they could do is like everyone.
Tevia.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. Oh, by the way, Blue Lantern, Flash, yes. And by the way, speaking of lanterns, a Green Lantern game, you can play as all of the different human lanterns.
Mm-hmm.
And then each one has their own special thing, and each one's like constructs look different and feel different. That way, it's not like you're just playing like a different, the same character but with a different.
If you unlock the Yellow Lantern Hal Jordan suit, the achievement is I sense much. There is much fear in you. Also, I have because we're talking about Green Lantern, Dexstar. I'm just saying it, Dexstar.
Yeah. No Teen Lantern. Yes. Okay. The lanterns who will be in this game: Hal, John, Kyle, Simon, and Jessica. That's it.
Also, I just want to say this: if I ever get a cat, don't be surprised if I name it Dexstar.
Yeah. Oh, Johnny Quick is another good skin for a Flash game. But
what about Jesse
of
Quick?
The skins? Actually, yeah, that's true. In terms of the skins for Green Lantern, it'd be like the movie Hal Jordan, and yes, green and animated is the achievement when you unlock that. Justice League and Justice League Unlimited, obviously for Jon Stewart. Mm-hmm. Actually, in terms of for Jessica Cruz, you could have her Yellow Lantern, her regular Green Lantern skin, her time as Power Ring, and then you can also have her
Kingdom Come Green Lantern.
Absolutely. That's for the Alan Scott one.
Also, like the version where like the lantern is literally in his chest.
Yeah, Kyle Rayner. You could have the 90s suit. Obviously, yeah, you can't not have the 90s suit for Kyle Rayner.
Yeah.
And for Hal Jordan, the Parallax suit when he was taken over by Parallax.
Yeah.
And then the achievement is basically actually what would be the achievement? You could just do I sense fear or something like that. No, weak to yellow ?
Also, the black if any black suit is in Blackest Night or whatever.
Yes.
If you
unlock the Black Lantern version of any of these characters, they'll be in Blackest Night. And then the White Lantern is in Brightest Day.
It works.
There you go.
And the most powerful Green Lantern suit is called, like, basically you're just going to have an achievement for every line of the Green Lantern oath.
It's called Ion.
What?
Because the Ion would be the...
Green Lantern's
actually, no.
Green Lantern's light.
The achievement is just Green Lantern's light.
Yeah, there's literally an achievement. basically for each line of the Green Lantern Oath, there is a suit and an achievement to it. Like in Brightest
there you
Day
go.
is the Kal Rainier suit. Kind of
Mhm.
thing. No evil shall
Yeah,
escape my sight. Whatever.
That's
Yeah.
actually good. You unlock each of the different Green Lantern characters, and as you unlock them, the achievements eventually spell out the Green Lantern Oath.
Yeah, and it goes line by line.
Yeah, line by line. Okay, the Wally West family. Yeah, that works for a Flash game, a Super Kids game. I know you meant Super Sons, which
I
that
know,
could work
I
as a
know,
cartoon version.
well, I know
It
what
could work
Cavil
as a
was trying
cartoon
to do,
version. Yeah, I know what
but
he's trying to do.
yeah. But
Yeah, so
in terms of,
yeah,
go
go
on.
ahead.
No,
No,
you
no,
go
I
first.
was gonna wrap this up.
Yeah, I was just gonna say one thing. It's just that, guys, if you haven't liked the stream, make sure you guys like the stream, subscribe to Jared. Make sure if you're watching this on my channel, make sure you leave a like, comment, subscribe, share the stream with your friends. Let them know what we've been up to, and also make sure you stay tuned for myself and Jared to do something special together on Max's channel soon.
And by the way, in terms of villain, it'd be the Yellow Lantern Corps would be the first game. It would be the War of Light, and then the final game of my Green Lantern trilogy, it would be Blackest Night, the game where you have all because all of our games are going to take place in one continuity, and then that you have like all the different Justice Leaguers and the Blackest Night and everything. So
Yeah.
it'd be super cool. So on that note, okay, so I'm gonna go around where can everyone find you and what we got coming out on the channel. Teladia, you first.
You guys can find me on YouTube at Teladia Plays. I am currently editing a video for the podcast, which is called Into the Multiverse, a DC Comics podcast. We just redid our episode today. Let me just post that the channel in the podcast channel in the chat. But yeah, you guys can subscribe there because myself, Jared, JJheat, we discussed everything, and we talked about the Superman Legacy casting rumors. We talked about that today. So it's a very fun and exciting episode that's going to be published sometime next week. And also, I'm planning to do Superman and Lois episode 9. Yeah, episode 9, season 3. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be a great stream. So yeah.
Nick, how about you?
Well, you can find me on Twitter at the Phoenix Press. YouTube just search the same. I got my comic book Turn Samurai #3 coming out. It recently broke $1,000, so thank you for that. We will most likely get funded at this point. It's looking really good. Jared, I shared the link in the private chat if you will
I got it.
pop that out. And yeah, going to be doing Justice League on Sunday, Super Slips and Bros on Wednesday, and yeah, I got some good stuff coming out for you guys.
All right. So in terms of me, again, I'm starting that show with my good friend Britt. She was in the chat last night on Comics League Dark. She's a really knowledgeable source of DC. She's like one of my closest internet friends. I knew her before I met you guys. And,
wow.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's like okay. So the story goes. I'm gonna tell this quick story. So I get an email from the podcast from someone saying, "Hey, we write fan stories about Superman and Wonder Woman. I saw that's a couple that you promote, and I was wondering if you would do an episode highlighting what we do." So I did that. It's a great episode. It's one of my highest viewed. And then I'm in their Discord server, and I see her because I had read her stories before. So I'm like, small world. I have been reading your stuff for years. And then she's my secret weapon when it comes to people putting up like BS arguments about DC and Wonder Bat and all that stuff. I just screenshotted her the arguments, put it in her chat, and she's like, "Okay, here's what's wrong. Here." She will tear it apart. So basically, our show.
What? How have you not brought her into any of these shows yet, though?
Yeah.
We've been trying to. It's because she's trying to find a time where it's nice and quiet and stuff. But she has an open invitation. She'll be doing content with us for a while. But anyway,
okay,
so our
cool.
show is basically gonna. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Nick.
No, I said okay, cool.
Yeah. So basically, our show is gonna be examining like new 52 Super Wonder, talking about like toxic fandoms and stuff. It's gonna be a really great show. And in terms of Indie Wednesday, I'm gonna be just discussing Donnie Cates and Ryan Stegman's Vanish, super cool book. And in terms of UGC, TBD. And then next week, I believe it is either Nick or Snyder Queen's choice for a movie. And Nick, if you want to take this week, you can.
Snyder Queen hasn't had a pick yet. As much as I hate to do it, I think it's only fair that Snyder Queen gets a pick.
Yeah, and by the way, so after that, it will be next pick. And while I have you here, do you want to tell the audience what movie we'll be watching in 2 weeks?
I fight for the users.
Yes, Tron Legacy, which is awesome. So we got that, and again, any news that comes out will be on Comics League Dark. So on that note, everyone, stay heroic, and I will see you all next week for movie night. See you later.